Okay, Tuesday, September 6th, and this is a SPY recap, end of the day, and we'll kind of go over what developed today. Actually, a very straightforward day in terms of trading and opportunities and price action, and it kind of makes things pretty clear in terms of what to expect. There's a few what-if scenarios if price goes up. We'll talk about what that can mean, and if it fails to go up, then we'll show you what that means relative to what we've kind of been tracking for a while now. So anyway, today you can see here it was a slightly lower day, red day close. It was a 2 down day. So in other words, this was a 2 up day and we had the 2 down day. And you can see when you break the low of this Friday bar, the target was this Thursday bar and you hit that target. If you look at some of the prior videos today and last week, I discussed how likely on the weekly chart here, when you take out this low, that was likely to happen given this red bar, at least to test that low. And then this low right here 6 weeks ago is right next to it. So that's where a lot of stops were. And that's why, there was high probability you were heading down there first. Then the question is, as always, when you reach your targets, and in this case, it was kind of a double target of last week and 6 weeks ago. At that point, is that the broadening action that could reverse everything back up? If you drew kind of the megaphone kind of look, you would have an uptrend here and you'd kind of have the downtrend going this way. I mean, I can move these lines. It's been a while, that type of thing. And maybe if we fail here, we'll watch for developments to show that maybe we're heading all the way back up. Or, if that doesn't happen and we can't really make that move, then there's a pretty high probability we're heading down to the next target on the weekly chart, which is down here. And that target, once we go to the monthly chart, let's just lock it in there in terms of the, dashed line, that's close to where we're really looking for this month to go, which is to the bottom of this range. And like I said, I've shot many videos showing why this is an inside bar, which means consolidation, trading range. And when you fail to break out of the upside of one range and you come back in, you typically go to the bottom end of that range. And then from that point, if we get there, do we just hold there and reverse back to the top of the range, or does it, fail to make a reversal and actually go a lot lower? So there's a lot of things. That's long term. This one here, weekly chart, what we want to see now, and this is why things are pretty clear in terms of what happens next. So tomorrow, I can't predict what's going to happen. I still am biased to the downside based on that monthly chart. So I'm still looking down, and looking for all kinds of opportunities to get short. And that's why today, which I'll go over in a minute, once it rallied up there, I didn't really have much, any strong expectations for it to continue higher. And it really didn't. It just kind of went sideways the rest of the day. But I'll get into that in a second. But in terms of the daily chart here, so I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. It's possible that we start about a midpoint to this day and start up. And if we do, and we'll look at the, this is the range of today's overnight action. We'll look at the range of tomorrow's pre-market and overnight action. But if we can move up above that range and above the midpoint of yesterday, above the high of yesterday, then we might be broadening out to the upside, towards this target on the daily chart. Again, I can't predict if that's going to happen, but it's something to look for. If that happens, at that point, if we could take out this daily high or even move towards it, you can see this red line, that's the weekly midpoint. So it could be a failed week to the down. If we really start up strong and can't, reach the midpoint of this prior week, that to me shows we failed possibly a 2 down week today. And we could be getting an outside bar to the upside, towards the top of that week, which could be like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way back up. But again, price action has to lead us that way. I'm still looking to head lower on the monthly chart, but you never know. And in the sense that this weekly targets have been taken out, you could get a reversal here. But the reversal is going to have to take place price action-wise. It's going to have to get above the the high, the midpoint of yesterday and the high yesterday. It's going to have to reach this target. And when it reaches this target here, then that could maybe kick off the weekly reversal. So we'll just see if that happens. Now, the interesting thing is if we do get a little up move, but we can't even take out this target up here, which is the daily, bar on Friday. It's also close to the midpoint of the prior week. Then we get real excited. We show we're not really reversing up here. And then any 2 down day, a new lower low gets us excited to take back these Monday lows, today's lows, and then into the, the bigger bigger picture, targets on the weekly chart down to here, which is kind of the monthly target. So that's why it's kind of clear, in other words. So we can watch price action. Anything that fails to, that either moves up and fails or even fails to move up, we're heading lower and showing you we're not, just broadening out on this weekly chart and heading all the way back up. And if we get some kind of strong move up, that could start the reversal maybe all the way back up. But there's a lot of work that has to be done to get there. So then in terms of today, just looking at it real quickly, the only real opportunity, and I shot a bunch of videos during the day, was this opening price action. Once we saw the, here's the, the pre-market range, highs and lows. I discussed how I was buying some put. I think I just moved, somewhere on this first bar on the 5-minute chart. It was down here, I think. I was buying, it looked like a good opportunity to buy some puts to take out these targets, which we hit. We hit it in the first hour, and that was the only move of the day. At that point, I shot a video showing we reached our targets. Now, do we just pause and, continue, or is it possibly, time for a little bit of consolidation? And as it turns out, once I saw price action move strongly up here, I knew, high probability was just consolidation. I was a little uncertain if we were going to, at that moment, really get a strong move up, or whether we were going to even test these lows again. And it turns out neither happened, and I talked about it on the prior video. So we just ended up going sideways. But nevertheless, we closed red today. All those other, what if scenarios are now in play. It was a very clear, to me anyway, based on what I look for, it was clear that this move down right at the open was the trading opportunity. Everything else in here, there was nothing clear about where price was going. In terms of it just ended up going sideways. I was talking about how if we came down and kind of tested this low, this was the bar to do it. And if we just would have paused in here and then continued lower, that could have been a good trade to take out the intraday lows, because I'm always monitoring, that early in the session intraday high and lows for some kind of secondary trade. But as it turns out, we just kind of rallied up. After we made that bar, we kind of just rallied up, kind of in a bear flag kind of look, but not the type of thing where this move down really was going to, at that point, threaten these lows with just an hour to go in trading. So, this was the move right in here, where if it would have just, after this big red bar, if we would have paused and then continued lower, I would have expected that to be taken out, and it could have been a short-term trade in there. But anyway, we will see where it goes tomorrow. Very, again, clear, only opportunity really today, given price action, the way I view things, and all the, the different time frames and everything. This was the only real trade opportunity of the day. But the consolidation here, to me, and then, ending in this kind of bar, kind of makes it very clear what to look for tomorrow. If we go long, let's watch if it can take out this target. If we can't even get long, then we know we're not just failing here and broadening back to the upside. If anything, it shows that we're heading back towards this target most likely. So let's see where we go tomorrow.